Mysterious disappearances have turned peaceful nights into times of terror. Children, the elderly, and young adults vanish without a trace, leaving a cloud of fear over the remaining villagers. No one suspects the horrific secret hidden beneath the old willow tree by the riverbank. The terrifying willow tree chap 2. At this moment, Mr. Than began to lure his friend, leading him closer to the willow tree. The two policemen couldn't wait any longer. They ran, moving quickly and trying to stop this dreadful act. "Stop!" they shouted, their voices strong and determined. They realized the truth about the sinister willow tree was no joke. They had to act, rushing to save the men before it was too late. They pushed through the thick foliage, trying to prevent and awaken Mr. Tan from the danger. But the willow tree would not stop. Its branches shook violently, appearing like ghostly arms in the darkness. The willow tree now seemed like a living creature hunting for its prey. The two policemen knew time was running out, and every move had to be swift and decisive. As the willow tree grasped Mr. Tan, it hoisted him high, the pull from within the tree growing stronger. Mr. Tan was held tight, the presence of the willow tree threatening his life. It seemed all hope was lost until the two policemen arrived. They didn't hesitate, not wasting a second. Both men approached and tried to pull the old man from the tree's grasp. They realized they were facing a cruel enemy, and there was no time for hesitation. "Pull him down!" Min shouted, putting all his effort into pulling the old man down. Despite the willow tree's incredible strength, with the determination of the two policemen, the old man was eventually freed from the tree's grasp. They pulled him out of danger and quickly ran away, ensuring they had saved a life from the willow tree's sinister cruelty. But before they could fully recover from fear, the willow tree quickly reached out and grabbed Officer Nan. They only had a moment to see the last moonlight shine through the vast leaves before he was hoisted high, swinging under the willow tree. The two policemen felt a sense of despair and fear spreading through them, but also a strong determination. They knew they had to do something to stop this cruelty, but the willow tree was displaying terrifying strength and would not be easily dealt with. Officer Min quickly pushed the old man Tan away from the willow tree. He ran back towards his friend, who was now caught by the tree. Each step was an effort to ensure the safety of himself and his friend. But as he turned to look at the willow tree, the horror grew. The flashlight's beam shone into the hollow of the tree, and what he saw made him freeze in place. Inside the hollow of the willow tree, the darkness was dense and haunting, like a painting of gloom and cruelty. The moonlight from outside couldn't penetrate the thick foliage, creating an eerie and chilling atmosphere. The grotesque face of the old man who had died the previous day stared at him from within the tree. The horrific scene continued to unfold. White bones, the faces of other missing people, all hidden inside the tree. The white bones glittered like ghosts in the darkness, creating a terrifying and dreadful sight. These skeletons were not just traces of brutality but symbols of death and pain. The skulls moved, the branches twisted like ghosts waiting to grab anyone who stepped in. The marks of the willow tree's cruelty and viciousness were evident on each branch, evoking a sense of dread and horror. Amidst all this, the hanging old man and the bones of the missing victims were the focal points of the horror. Their faces appeared in the darkness, displaying cruelty and grotesqueness. These bones were like living paintings of agony and despair, showing a cruel intent to drag Officer Min into endless suffering. Min felt a powerful pull from the hollow tree, like a devilish lure, drawing him deeper into the darkness of brutality. He struggled, but his efforts only intensified his torment and pain. His determination and will began to waver under the horrifying power of the spooky willow tree. Officer Min screamed in terror, his cries echoing in the dark night. The situation had exceeded his wildest nightmares, and he didn't know how to face this horror. But no matter what, he was determined not to become part of those bones. He had to find a way to find the spooky willow tree and save his friend, who was hanging above, before it was too late. His heart pounded in his chest, the beats mirroring his anxiety and fear. He realized the monstrous nature of the spooky willow tree, with each branch swaying in the dark like demonic arms, ready to snatch anyone who came close. But before he could utter a word or do anything, a branch of the willow tree, like an invisible weapon, grabbed him, pulling him into the dark hollow. He struggled, trying to escape the nightmare tree's grip, but its power was overwhelming. Despair began to spread through his mind, consuming his body. He tried to scream for help, but his cries were swallowed by the surrounding darkness. Gradually, he started feeling the allure of the willow tree, like a devilish call, eroding his reason and consciousness. He knew he was about to become the next victim of the willow tree, with no hope of rescue from this dark fate.